Hello there, all singers. My name is Stephanie and I am a mezzo-soprano. Today I have a very special topic. It really helped me as a singer, but especially as a musician, and it's all about silent practice. What I mean with silent practice is not to strive singing quiet. It's about how can you go to your rehearsal room and how can you practice without harming your voice or pushing it to the limits. It's about efficient practice without over and over and over singing the song and the notes again, so that the singing and the technique are separated and don't get in each other's way. Example, how often do we have little time to practice? We go to the rehearsal room, we open our book and we start pushing the notes on the piano. We push it into our voice, literally, and we're trying to get it in the system, but it doesn't work. We get failures of wrong notes, failures of wrong interpretations, wrong IPA, wrong translation, and then we have to start actually over again, because now we have to replace the failures for the right translation, the right notes, the right music actually. With silent practice, I have the solution where you can practice in little time and you can develop your musical ear. So, here is the headline. If you can't imagine it, you can't sing it. Here is an example of what silent practice can mean. Okay, imagine a song that you can sing in your head. You have it all day in your head. You don't need any music, you don't need any key to press before singing a song. You are maybe thinking, please, this is a waste of time. But I can assure you, if you start practicing silent, in the end it will cost you less time, it's more efficient and it makes you a better musician and helps you grow as a singer. So, tip 1, scanning. Take your sheet music, get it out and just read it like a book. Just scan if are there any parts the same, are there measure changes, are there key changes, are there large intervals, are there super small intervals which you know would be a problem for you already. Scan if the rhythm is weird, scan if the rhythm will change very much, scan how fast it is.
3 hours later.
What you can also do is scanning with the music. So search for a nice musical example, search for a nice singer which you really like and which you know has a good technique, and start scanning while listening the music. You play the music and you read along like a book. You read, you see, you mark things you would know these are a problem for you. This takes like 5 minutes, even less, and you have a nice overview. You know what you are starting with. You know if you're reading a romance, if you're reading a horror, if you're reading an adventure book. And talking about musical imaginary, what you can also do is you scan now, you listened, you can play it again and you start singing along in your head. And you start singing along without tension, super legato, super clean in the vowels, and you just imagine as if you were the singer who you are listening to. And you can feel how your body reacts on it. If you start thinking about tension, it will cramp. But if you think relaxed, legato, the movement in your body will follow. So you did now step 1 for the work in the whole instrument, because you are pretending like you're singing, but you're only singing in your head. Tip 2, rhythm. The rhythm is the fundament of the piece. So what you can do is rhythmically speaking, the text. You could do it on the text, you can imaginary an own brabbel text, you can use only one vowel, you can use one word. While saying the text rhythmically, I always have my fingers to help me counting the bars. So this I learned once from an Indian musician and it really helped me. It doesn't have to work for you. There are more options and I will show you different options. But what I'll do is I have a measure of 4. So this is 1 count. This is the 2nd count, this is the 3rd count, and this is the 4th count. So what I will do, I'll take my thumb and I will count the bars and the beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'll do, I'll start in my head. 1, 2. Kunnen tranen mijn ervangen. As you saw, I use my thumb and my fingers to tell me where I am with the beats. It helps me just as a reminder while singing for real where I am. Where is the vowel? Is it on the third? Is it on the fourth beat? And it's just a good reminder for me to be in my body and to have sort of a count and a feeling. Another thing you can do is conduct yourself. You can do 1, 2, 3 and kunnen tranen mijn ervangen. This will also help you to get a musical feeling. Because the third variation you could use is a BPM, so a metronome. And I would recommend to use a metronome, but only use it in the beginning to get really a solid ground foundation, which you are super exactly with the rhythm, and it's just super clean. But take it out the minute you know it, since if you would use over and over this beats per minute, it will take out of your musical feeling. I think it's really important as a singer that we can use our musical feeling and we can use to take our time or to go faster, since we have the ability to do so. We are not a drummer who has to stay really on time. Use the BPM if you want to for the beginning, when you start learning it. Do it as slow or as fast as you want. Then you can use the conducting, because it will help you to get more a musical feeling. It will help you where do you want to breathe. If you were a conductor, where should you start breathing? And you can also use the fingers if you want. Before singing, separate melody and rhythm. We only look at the rhythm and we start counting the rhythm, the whole piece or a small section, which you would know this would be a problem for you. I take the rhythm that is most relatable for the real rhythm. But if this is too fast, you can take it slower, and you start learning by taking it really slow. That's okay. It's not only rhythm. You can involve the legato speaking. You can involve the taking the breath really nicely. Really nicely. These are just all elements you can put together, but if you think this is too difficult for you, start only by singing the rhythm. If it's too difficult to do a whole phrase, start only 2 bars. For example, what I did, I found a bar difficult, so I split it. I took from the whole section a part and I only repeated this. This is what you can do if you have a difficult rhythm. Now we can focus on the melody, and what you can do is take only the melody, skip the rhythm, and take for every melody 1 beat at a time. So what I'll do, we are still with kunnen tranen mijn ervangen. We take, for example, I now take randomly a note. I can play the chord on the piano, so I have the feeling of how the first chord is, and I'll take for every note 1 beat. Kunnen tranen. So now I know for sure I have the melody, and now I can put the rhythm in again. So I can now do kunnen tranen mijn ervangen. And now I have merged the 2 separate rhythm and the melody, and I know for sure I didn't take a wrong note or a wrong rhythm. I have put them in my head before I could sing them. Tip 3. Imagination. Your musical imagination helps you developing your musical ear, because music lives in your head first, and if you can imagine, you can sing it. Instead of shaping the sound by singing it, shape it in your head. So sing the melody in your head before singing really out loud. So this tip is on different levels, and I will show you the beginner's level and how you can take it to an advanced level. And it's all about imagine the melody. So what you first can do to get an overall imagination of the music is you can take your sheet music again, you put on a karaoke and you imagine how the song would be. This doesn't mean you have to sing the notes in your head all right at the same time, but it just gives you a feeling of the harmonic changes and the harmonic overall feeling. Like the minor or the major or really difficult modern music. You can also skip this part and you continue by imagining the sound by playing chords. I first take the key and it's G minor. I know this is the first chord for the first bar what I have to sing. You can play the whole chord, but you can also play only the bass notes. Start playing the bass notes and see if you can find the first pitch of the song. Sing it in your head and then sing it out loud if you think you have the note. In my head, I first imagine and then I sing it and check it. And it's right. Now you know how to find the first notes. You have this harmonical feeling. You can take more bars. You can make a nice line. You can take a nice phrase. So you play the bass notes, for example, of 4 bars. And you start trying to sing the melody. You can end on the last bar and see if you ended on the right note. If this is not the case, don't worry, try again. And it's right. Now, if you are more advanced, what you can do is you play the chords or you play the notes, you sing the melody in your head and you take a randomly note out and you see and you check if this is right. First play the bass, then stop somewhere you want to stop, sing the note in your head, then sing it out loud and check it. This should be the B flat. And it's right, so I can continue. And it's also right. What really helps is to find a system how to sing in your head. What I did before, I really took like notes from the sky. I didn't have a feeling of the harmonics, I didn't have the feeling of the scale. So how you can develop this is play the scale before you start singing, or play the chords or the cadenza 1 4 5. So you have this feeling in which key you are and on which level of height you should sing. I know there are people who started learning do re mi at really young age and this helped them really a lot to have this musical imaginary. I started learning on numbers, so I started with 1 3 5 3 1, and do re mi is the same, but you have all these names: do mi sol mi do. So you have a feeling. If you see 5 in the music or a quint or a quarter, you know, oh, this is the note. And you just don't randomly sing a note. So find a system that helps you to have this harmonical feeling, this melody feeling. So what you can do if you start singing and you see do re mi, you say in your head, this is the bass note. And then you check it by singing it, do re mi re do. Okay, it's correct. So this is how you can develop this skill. In the end, if you have advanced the skill and you have practiced it a lot and you have merged it into your routine, then you can just playing the chords or playing the bass notes and you can sing the whole phrase or the whole first page by just singing it and checking randomly the notes if they are right, and you will get quicker and quicker in this, and you will soon have the whole song in your head before you even sing it out loud. So what I do now, I start playing the bass notes, I have this harmonical feeling and I know for myself which parts are difficult. So I circle them, play the whole bass line of the whole piece. I circle the parts where I know these are difficult, and then I start learning only these difficult parts. So I start learning the difficult intervals or the difficult harmonical changes by playing the bass note, taking the melody apart, taking the rhythm apart if it's really difficult, taking the rhythms really slow and only playing the interval, for example, in my head and checking all the time, okay, am I ending on the right note? If I know this difficult part is now okay, I take a bar before and now I have 2 bars, and then I take the 3rd bar, and this is how you can put a small part in the whole piece. Last tip, take your time. What I told you is a skill you have to develop. It took me a long time to develop this, and I'm still learning. I'm not a master in it, but it really helped me as a musician to grow faster and to develop my musical ear, and yeah, to learn without being frustrated and harm my voice or by pushing all the notes in my system. One learns by repetition, so take small parts and do it every day again. Don't take like an hour for only doing this, but take only the rhythm, because you know the rhythm is your weak point, and then do it 5 days after each other. The more often you do this, the faster you get in developing the skill, and the faster you can put all the elements together and learning your sheet music really efficient. Ultimately, singing silent is not the real singing. So this has to be a part of your practice routine, but it doesn't has to be the whole practice routine. I really enjoy doing my practice having small parts of silent practice, small parts of warming up, small parts of cooling down, small parts of learning by heart. Because if you would only silent practice, this is not the real feeling of singing. So it's not the energy and not the breath you would take for real singing. It is a small part of it, and I think if you would only do this, you will forget how you have to sing for real with the real volume. Please notice that this is only helping you to learn the notes faster and to develop your musical imagination and your musical ear, but it is not instead of singing. So that was my special topic for you about silent practice. I hope these tips will help you to continue your practice and make it more efficient. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, and share with me if you have other tips. I'm happy to learn, and I will see you in the next video. Shh, bye.